and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to what would have been the semis, but now the grand finals of ESL Open Cup Americas number 197. I apologize for the extended delays, but we have our players. So what did occur? It was going to be MaxPax versus Cure as the lower semifinals, but Cure is missing in action. He is unavailable. We don't know what happened. Don't know if something came up, if he went to bed, if he passed out. You know, hopefully everything is okay. Fingers crossed that everything is okay. But unfortunately, Cure forfeits. He forfeits against MaxPax, which means we have our grand finals. Predictions are open in the chat. Place your bets on how you think this series will go as we get into our TVP best of 5. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Radisset Station, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have our Danish Protoss player representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player. He's, of course, the South Korean Terran, the ESL Masters Summer runner-up. It is GuMiho. So again, unfortunate that we didn't get the lower semifinals. I was joking in the chat earlier that this is how we stop the TVT finals. We need to make them forfeit. It is a shame though. Like we had Cure versus GuMiho last night in the finals of ESL Asia, and it would have been amazing to have that as a rematch here in ESL Americas as well. Unfortunately, Cure, he won't have the opportunity to even try to have that, to make that a reality, as he is not here. And instead we have a very different finals, a TVP between GuMiho and MaxPax, ex-teammates, as they were both on Sidestorm for a very long time. They were supported by KJ over on Sidestorm Gaming. Alas, that is no longer the case, and I'm curious to see how this will unfold. MaxPax, of course, being the best Protoss in all of Europa, in all of Europe, arguably the best Protoss in the world as well. I know people do like to talk about both MaxPax and Hero and how they both have their strengths and weaknesses. They both have their on and off days. And oh my god, this is something that I was not expecting. GuMiho going for a Rax expanded economic opener into a second Rax behind this. Into, I imagine, a 3 Rax, something that will be spotted as the MaxPax does go up the ramp, does check the production and does get eyes on the second Rax. Already a piece of the puzzle here. And yeah, this is already out of left field. I wonder if this is going to be for a 3 Rax or a 2-1-1, which is also another possibility. 2-1-1s are very uncommon in this matchup in TVP, but they do have their place, and we do see them every now and then. What I refer to is 2 Raxes, 1 factory, 1 starport, that leads into fast stim and a medevac drop. Speaking of, Reactor and Tech Lab are on the way. No factory yet. I imagine this is still just going to be a 3 Rax from GuMiho as Zell does arrive. It delays the bunker. And, oh, there's only 1 Marine to work with. The add-ons are on the way. MaxPax is getting out of control. We do have an Adept coming in behind this. And already the opener here is looking a little bit lackluster for GuMiho. He loses control of his natural, no mining whatsoever, cancels the bunker in the end. Marines are on the way, but we will be able to hunt down 1 more of these SCVs. Another Adept is coming out with the cancellation of that bunker. That means that GuMiho cannot gain control of his natural base. He has a couple of Marines, but they are vanilla Marines. Ugh, and he's just being bullied back. SCV does go down. Back at home, MaxPax's take of choice is going to be into a Dark Shrine. Oh my god! I love this. I love this idea from MaxPax because GuMiho, he's lost so many SCVs, has lost so much mining time. The likelihood of GuMiho actually holding onto energy for a scan is not very high at all. Oof. 2 SCVs go down. And finally, we can clean up these Adepts. But that was merely the beginning. The beginning here as MaxPax is getting ready to move out. It is going to be 3 gateways in total alongside this warp prism. Behind this, MaxPax will be working through these minerals. We are on Radisset Station, which means you can be quite greedy and you can take these very safe expansions as MaxPax is working towards his 3rd. Likewise, GuMiho is still building on up, and it is a 2-on-1, by the way. I brought it up and I wasn't too sure if it was going to come to fruition, but yes, Stim is on the way, medevacs as well. We will be hitting a timing with this double drop. Now it is delayed because of the disrupted economy. This will be hitting later than it usually would. So GuMiho again is gonna have to play a little bit of catch up here as we get ready for our game, and the Dark Shrine is about to finish up. The third base is taken, and the DTs are gonna be morphed in. Here we go. We have our 2 Dark Templar morphed in across the map. Speaking of, DT hits the natural base. We have 2 going into the main as well. The economy looking to be in shambles here. Not too many SCV damage, not too much SCV damage being done yet, but do we have a scan? Oh! So far, we do not. There we go. We do manage to scan in the main base, but the DT is saved with the War Prism. Managed to get the DT in the natural, though, and only 3 SCVs go down. Could have been worse. Could have been so much worse. As GuMiho, yeah, again, he only loses 4 workers. And now, the medevacs, I believe, are still not arriving. We're going to be going for a Viking first to shut down the War Prism before working on that medevac. Again, still no mules. Still have to save for those scans. And behind this, MaxPax getting further ahead economically. Now working on his Blink, Forge for +1. Archon drop ahead of us as well. And yeah, I would say that MaxPax has a pretty solid lead. Solid lead from this position. GuMiho, he's missed his timing. Now, he still has potential with his double drop, but he has to stay at home here. He has to respect this War Prism as the Viking does come out and should be able to zone it away. It should. As the Archons do drop in, and oh my god, doing so much damage to the Marines already. Oh, every single Marine's gonna go down. This is disastrous here for GuMiho. GG gets called, and MaxPax takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Again, just snowballing out of control from the very beginning with the initial Zealot, with the initial Adept, just disrupting the economy and scouting his opponent. The follow-up DTs into the Archons. It was just MaxPax in the driver's seat, and GuMiho 1 step behind the entire time. GG. And with that, MaxPax, he takes a lead. Does take a lead in the series, but it's a best of 5. You know, I'm sure we have plenty of opportunities ahead of us to come back in this series. It was a rough game 1, but I believe that GuMiho can and will fight back. So get ready for game number 2. And again, a really strong start here from MaxPax. Shout out to MaxPax, by the way. We didn't actually get to talk about it earlier. We usually do, but typically we don't really get too much European representation in our tournaments or in ESL Americas. But that is to the exception of 3. I say 4 actually. Wayne, Geralt, MaxPax, and Clem. They are the more active European players in these Americas weeklies, and they typically have deep runs. And hey, we've made it even into the grand finals. And here we go. In the top left hand corner, top right hand corner, I'm still waking up. Top right hand corner of Solaris, we have the Danish Protoss player representing Sidestorm Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran, looking to fight back, looking to tie things up. It is GuMiho. Ooh, with a proxy Rax. Now, this is not the most committed proxy, bear that in mind. Probe does get across the map, does confirm the lack of Rax here from GuMiho, which is suspect, but it's only a single Rax for the time being. We can go in a couple of different directions, but the Rax is rallied into the main base, so this is just a proxy Reaper. We should be throwing down a factory back at home. And the MaxPax, he checks, he comes across the proxy, he's aware of what's going on, he immediately dives on that SCV, going to be trying to disrupt the production of this Rax, and it should finish. The Rax should complete, we should be getting into our Reaper. Second probe is coming out. I think this is a little bit adventurous here from MaxPax, but regardless, he will dive on that SCV. Now, the reason for this is because the way that this works is that the Reaper comes out, dips into the main base, and then this SCV could try to go for an eBay block or even a bunker behind the mineral line to kind of disrupt things a little bit further. But the SCV takes too much damage and has to get the hell out of there. Back at home, Factory is thrown down. It's going to be confirmed by MaxPax. Again, it was a double gas opener, so a delayed CC. A Zealot comes out, and we should be seeing an Adept soon thereafter. Or a Stalker. It is. Stalker is on the way. Reaper headed towards that main base. We're already taking a lot of damage. He's going for those probes, and it looks like he will not get one. Forcing a lot of lost mining time in the main base, but we are just buying time here for the Stalker to pop out. To deal with this. But here at the natural, we do have GuMiho just trying to set up and trying to expand, trying to get into the swing of things. Again, even though the proxy initially didn't quite work out too well, he can recover. It wasn't the most committed of proxies. That's what matters most. As GuMiho is getting a CC on the low ground, on location. And MaxPax, because he didn't go into any adepts, he doesn't really have, well, he has one adept, but he doesn't really have too much map presence to get across the map and to delay the CC. Should be able to get up and running. And MaxPax, his tech of choice this time is not a Twilight Council, so no DTs, is going for a Stargate instead. Meanwhile, GuMiho setting up his 3-1-1. 2 more Raxes on the way, in addition to the one that we already had, and the factory. So a big prioritization of marine production, less so on things like Ravens or Medivacs. Oh my god, we throw down the 4th Rax! Jesus. This is very aggressive here from GuMiho. Very committed. And eventually we'll work towards a starport. We may even throw down a 5th Rax at this point. Tank is on the way. Back at home, MaxPax is going into a Phoenix opener. This is ideal for GuMiho, by the way. GuMiho is building up a massive marine-based army, and Phoenixes are not going to be ideal against this. You know, 3 Raxes are ideal against Phoenix openers, and this is a 4 Rax. Now, because of the opener, it's taking a while to really get into this. It'll take some time. MaxPax is still in the dark as to what the follow-up is going to be. Not fully aware of what's going on, as MaxPax is attempting to go into Phoenix Colossus. Robo's on the way. This will be Thoroughworks Bay for Colossus production for an eventual 3rd base. Meanwhile, GuMiho is setting up for... This is almost looking like a 2-base all-in. And it's going to hit hard. Stim +1 is on the way. Phoenix is moving out, catching a Hellion, and looking to get some scouting information. Looking to get a read of the main base. And they will get eyes on all these Raxes. Even a couple of SCV kills. 2, 3 SCVs. Oh, a bit of miscontrol out of GuMiho, but he does fend off those Phoenixes for now. There's that Bay on the way for Colossus. So it's going to be close. Now, the one thing, because there's no starport, there's no Raven, so there's no way to disable the Colossus when it does come out. And it looks like MaxPax has pieces together. The push is soon upon us, and MaxPax throws down a shield battery. He is getting ready for it. He's respecting it quite a bit. We shouldn't be pushing out yet. We still have a ways until +1 finishes. So I'm sure GuMiho wants to hit with that timing. As he's already moving out across the map. Here comes that second army. A couple of SCVs are on the way as well to repair and to throw down bunkers. Go. GuMiho moving out with everything he has. 0 air units. Reinforcements are getting picked up. Starport now on the way. And he's going to be running into an Immortal. A couple of gateway units. No sentries, no force fields are available. And we are going in. We do force our way through the ramp. Colossus is a couple of seconds away from popping out. The Colossus has arrived. And we can't swipe away at these Marines. GuMiho is getting closer, takes out the shield battery. But we're diving on this position. The tanks are lifted. At least one of them are. Mortal putting in a lot of work, and it looks like at MaxPax, he barely does clean up the tanks. Takes down the turret as well. And at MaxPax, oh god! He should hold. Took a lot of hits from that turret, but he should be able to hold on. Another tank is arriving though. Shelling away at the army. A couple of Marines are sent off towards the third base, and even if we force a cancel on this Nexus, that is going to be worth it here for GuMiho. He will respect the army. He will back off. Oh, and he will not cancel the third. MaxPax holds. And looking at the resources lost, MaxPax, he didn't lose all of his Phoenixes. His Phoenix count was completely reset. He only has one left. Oh, sorry, two left. But he killed all the tanks. Killed a bunch of Marines. Dips into the main base. Still no third TC. Just now being thrown down. Ooh, what's another Phoenix falls? And even though MaxPax may not have a large army yet, well, we have a gateway explosion. We have 6 gateways on the way, so MaxPax is soon to bulk up his army with charge lots. And the window where MaxPax is vulnerable is about to close. He's already got 3 Colossi. From here, he can get into Disruptor production. GuMiho is moving out. But I'm not too sure he can really achieve much with said move out. MaxPax is supply blocked for a moment, so he actually can't warp in. Until now. Here we go. We have a drop into the main base. Stalkers are waiting for it, though. One medevac goes down with some units inside. Looks like the Marines, they are gaining ground. We get another massive warp in here of Stalkers. And GuMiho is forced back. At the same time, he does not try to push in towards that third. He sees a Colossi. He knows that he cannot break that. Thankfully, GuMiho doesn't throw away his army. He does pull back. And my god, that's a lot of tanks. So even though GuMiho cannot break the bases of MaxPax, his main army is still looking very solid, especially defensively back at home. He has a solid position. Meanwhile, MaxPax, he ignores that third. He goes straight for the natural with this drop. And here comes the main army. Nice whole position micro, big warp in into the main base as well. SCVs are going down. Oh, a lot of economic damage done in the main. The base itself taking a lot of hits. And MaxPax, even though he isn't able to break this position, especially with all these tanks, there's no way he can. But he does kill 7 SCVs. He's able to get some economic damage done, backs on off, getting his own 4th base. Disruptor production has commenced. He only has a single robo, bear that in mind. He's only making 1 disruptor at a time. Here comes the army of GuMiho. Again, I do favor his army here in a head-to-head fight. Catches some Stalkers. Big pickup. He has to back off. Now again, there is potential with this disruptor. There's a lot of potential with that Nova. But GuMiho, he sees, he knows, and he avoids. Prism gets shut down. There is no backstab. There's less of a backstab. Uh-oh. These Zealots can get a lot done, but we have reinforcements back at home. And GuMiho, he's going straight for the third. The Colossi, they're out of position. Shield battery goes down. Now the tanks are a little bit far back, and it looks like MaxPax, he's setting up a surround. He collapses on this army. He gets on top of the tanks. The target firing though, oh my god. Oh. 2 Colossi fall. The last Colossus should barely go down to the Vikings as well. And GuMiho, he is breaking through. Just barely. Gets the sentries. He wants that disruptor up. And again, with his reinforcements, it looks like he has broken the back here of MaxPax. The Colossus, the Disruptors go down. As I say that, GuMiho, he can't quite break through. Gonna be backing off, rotating around. MaxPax, he's holding. He didn't really lose much of his economy. MaxPax has only lost one probe this game. He's rebuilding, remaxing. Still very little splash damage. He's going for a 5th base. Oh my god. And MaxPax, he's getting caught out. This is not a fight to take. Loses all of his zealots, and now his main army is vulnerable. It is exposed. GuMiho looking to snowball out of control, takes down the Immortal. Another zealot run by is going to be distracting him for a moment. Is getting some economic damage done. Prism slips into the main. And GuMiho turns around. He turns everything back around. And suddenly, MaxPax, he's still in this. He maintains his bases. He maintains his economy. He's going to be losing his War Prism, true. But he's getting back into Disruptors. And I would love to see additional gases being taken. I would love to see a second Robo. Alas, MaxPax is still only on 4 gases, relying a lot more on Zealot Warpins or a Gateway Army. And he will force a cancel on the 4th. He kills 14 SCVs. And MaxPax still in this, still relying a lot on Charged Archon. Can't quite push up a ramp though. Colossus being rebuilt. Dark Templar on the way with that Dark Shrine. I think we're coming a little bit too soon with these Zealots. Ideally, we wait for a move out. Zealots are going into their deaths. Oh. MaxPax trying to be a little bit cheeky with those Disruptors. Looking for those connections. Working up towards 73 workers, now taking an economic lead. Still no additional gases though, so again, his army still looks quite fragile. But there it is, second Robo's on the way. Now we can cook, Papi, now we can cook. But as MaxPax moves down, he's caught out of position. We recall back home, but we cannot recall in time. The base goes down and we are going for a full base trade. There is no turning back around, not anymore. As GuMiho is now pushing in towards the natural. Likewise, MaxPax breaking into the natural mineral line as well. As he's taking down all the Vikings. Workers falling for both sides. When it comes to the main armies, I think I want to favor MaxPax overall. Because there are no more tanks, we're cleaning up all these libs as well. And we have splash damage, we have Colossus and Disruptors. Oh, and DTs are warped in. There are Dark Templar. We have limited scans available. We have one in the main. We do have energy in the main base as well, but we may end up losing that. The Colossus went down. Oh. The Colossi did go down. MaxPax still has 2 bases mining, going for massive warp-ins here at his 4th base. And he should be fine. DTs are waiting. The main base is compromised. There is no way to scan. GG gets called. And MaxPax will take game number 2. 1 game away from becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Americas champion. Oh, GG. GG, well played. MaxPax coming back from such a difficult position as well. He was behind economically. He had lost all of his high-tech units. GuMiho was in a leading position, but the constant harassment from MaxPax keeping GuMiho at bay, keeping him back at home while MaxPax recovers economically. And then the base trade worked well in his favor. The Dark Templar putting in a lot of work, getting back into eventually his Colossus, his massive amount of bases, his economy. GG. GG, well played. MaxPax uno más, one more is all he needs. One more. Again, I don't think, even by the time the game ended, I don't think GuMiho was aware of the base on the left-hand side either. I think he was fully aware of what was happening, or the economic situation of MaxPax. And here we go, we're getting into game 3. Potentially the final game of this series. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Danish Protoss player representing Sandstorm Gaming. Again, one game away from becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Americas champion. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player. Down heavily in this series, he needs your support to bring it all back. It is GuMiho. Always the bridesmaid and never the bride, as GuMiho, he came second last night in ESL Asia, and unless he brings it back here and now, he's going to get second again in ESL Americas. He needs this win, and he's going for a proxy Rax. Now, this is a really interesting location. Are we going to float into the main? So Oceanborn, because there's so much room in the main base, we have seen GuMiho attempt to go for proxy Marauders in the main base before, and I think he's going to do it here again. A cheeky maneuver here out of GuMiho. Very cheeky maneuver indeed, as the Rax is about to finish up, and float us in, Bobby. Float us in. As we've seen him do it before. Do it again. Yeah, we're going in. We're floating into the main base. Again, this is something that you can do just because the main base is so large, so MaxPax doesn't see. He has no idea what is going on. Now, he does know that the Rax is missing. He knows that the Rax is somewhere on the map. It is not where it should be. Meanwhile, MaxPax is going for a gate expand. Tech Lab is on the way. And Marauders are going to be banking up in the main base of MaxPax. Concussive shell being researched as well. So a very cheeky move here out of GuMiho. Very cheeky indeed. Can he get away with it? How long is it going to take for MaxPax to check his main base? That is the question. As even with the gases, we can't see, Papi. We can't see. Not like this. There we go. First Marauder has arrived. We're going to wait for the second. Stargate opener here from MaxPax. As he's still trying to piece together what exactly is going on. Hellion is on the way. And we have 2 Marauders. We're banking up to 3 Marauders. We have a safety shield battery in the main base. And in the natural, MaxPax, I'm sure he's feeling quite uneasy as to what is happening because he hasn't seen any Reapers yet. Proxy Marauder is a very real possibility. And I'm sure he's assuming it's going to be coming from the front door. And there it is, the Marauders that do reveal themselves. The jig is up. MaxPax knows. He does respond here with his Stalkers. He does have that shield battery and an overcharge. And so far, he's only lost 2 workers. Takes down one of the Marauders. Can he take down another? The overcharge is popped. The boys are being pulled up. Ooh, 1 Stalker goes down. And this should be cleaned up. But how many workers are we losing in the process? 6 probes go down. We're going to get a 7th. 7 workers. GG, it is not enough. MaxPax cleans it up. And MaxPax will be this week's ESL Open Cup Americas champion. GG. How do we just watch? How hell just happened? GG, well played. Congratulations to MaxPax, as he will take it in the end. Again, we have seen GuMiho go for that build before. We have seen it go for that move. And yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just a really risky maneuver to go for. Basically, GuMiho, I'm sure he was hoping that there wouldn't be a shield battery in the main. That's the thing. If there wasn't a shield battery in the main base, GuMiho would have snowballed out of control, and the reinforcing Hellions would have been able to slip into the main base as well to get even more economic damage. That was very all-in and designed to snowball out of control. But MaxPax did get a safety shield battery because he didn't know what was happening. He had no idea what was going on, so he did play it safe and sound. GG, well played. Congratulations. And my condolences to GuMiho. As we mentioned before, GuMiho always the bridesmaid, never the bride. 2 second places back-to-back in ESL Asia and Americas. GG. And I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Again, unfortunately, we didn't get to cast the lower semifinals. Unfortunately, we didn't get to cover... unfortunately, there was no Cure versus MaxPax, and I'm sure that would have been an amazing series. But alas, that will be it for this morning. For now, we do have another broadcast later on in the day. I am just going to take this moment to, take a break and get some rest and get some food and get some breakfast, and, try to recover. In a couple of hours, in how many hours? 4 hours time, we're going to be live with our second broadcast. We're going to be live with World Team League. You may be wondering, WTL in the middle of the week? What's going on? WTL was over the weekend. It was over the weekend, but we didn't cast any of it. We didn't cover any World Team League because we were focusing on the ESL Masters qualifiers. The Asia qualifiers, the Americas qualifiers, the European qualifiers. We casted everything. We were the only streamers to cast everything and to even cast 2 regions, which is crazy. The only streamers. But as a result, we didn't get to cast any WTL. So we're going to catch up today, tomorrow, and Thursday. 3 days in a row, 3 days of World Team League. I believe it was casted by Wardy and Rotterdam. I think Wardy and Rotterdam, they did, and I think Steadfast as well. I think they all casted it over the weekend. But if you did not tune in, then you can watch it together with us. We can experience it all together. As I did avoid spoilers, I didn't watch any of the... I mean, I was casting at the time, so I couldn't watch any of it live. And I have not checked out at the Wikipedia page, so... yeah, I'm not fully aware. There was one thing that I did hear because someone mentioned it in the chat, so I'm aware of something that happened in one of those games throughout all 3 days. But that's all I'm slightly aware of. Other than that, we'll experience it for the first time. So again, that's going to be in 4 hours time. So we have plenty of room to ourselves to be able to just recover, get some food, get some water before we dive into some more StarCraft. And also a big shout out and congratulations to MaxPax. Again, he's an amazing player and he's one of the few Europeans that actually consistently signs up for ESL Americas, so always a treat to see more MaxPax action. There was no Clem this time. There was no Clem this week, unfortunately, but we got MaxPax at least. GG. GG, well played. And because of MaxPax, we avoided the PvT finals. Copium. So we are going to be heading off here for the day. We have been accumulating a couple of replays, a couple of viewer replays, and we will go over them. But because we're doing a bunch of catch-up streams this week, we are going to be focusing on that to begin with. And then maybe over the weekend, we can have some time to go over some replays. We'll see, because we have a pretty jam-packed schedule. Because we have to cover all of WTL and catch up, and then after Thursday, after we catch up, Friday is more WTL, as we do catch up with the live events and all of that. We also have Kung Fu Cup this week. There's also GSL, there's also KSL over the weekend, the Tenacious Turtle Tussle, and even more events. So plenty of StarCraft happening here on this channel. Multiple broadcasts a day, every day. So this is our first broadcast in the books, our second one in 4 hours. So we'll see you then. We shall see you then. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for the support. Thank you for following. Exclamation mark socials if you want to follow us on Twitter, Facebook. We have an Instagram. We have a YouTube channel. We have a Discord server. You can also support us on Patreon as well if you are interested, as we are edging ever closer to our goal on Patreon to be able to fully fund our events. That's our dream. That is our goal. We're getting there. We're getting there. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for everything. Good morning. All right, predictions. I cannot forget about said predictions as well. But yeah, with that, we're going to be heading off for the night, and we'll see you guys in a couple of hours. Until then, bye. Hasta luego. Hasta luego.